Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us today for the next webinar in our What's New series. In today's webinar, we'll cover some of the newest features in Microsoft 365 that you can implement in your business, as well as covering some brand new features that are coming up in the next few months. Now, don't feel like you need to make notes or take it all in straight away, as we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar and a follow-up fact sheet later today. Also, if you have any questions, then please feel free to drop them into the Q&A box at the side at any time. I'll of course do my best to keep an eye on those as we go through it, but there's also going to be dedicated time for questions at the end of the webinar. So, what's on the agenda for today? We'll take a look at the new capabilities of the latest version of Copilot. You can now reference emails using Copilot within Outlook. Copilot creates summaries of recent comments and edits within Word. In Teams, there's going to be a few new search features, which will hopefully improve your overall search experience. Plus, you can save important messages and view them with context within Teams. And then lastly, of course, what's next? As always, it's good to see so many people coming back and joining us again. And of course, welcome to all of the new faces as well. Let's start with an introduction to Bedroq. My name is Craig Mundy, and I'm the Digital Marketing Manager here. You might even recognize my voice from other videos on our website or YouTube channel. Bedroq is an IT managed service provider and a Microsoft Solutions partner for modern work. Now, this means that most of the IT we implement is based on the Microsoft stack. So that includes things like Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, Azure, etc. We're also experts in secure, resilient networks and managed IT solutions where high performance is critical. We work with organizations that have some of the highest security requirements in the UK, and we manage mission critical IT and operational technology for those highly regulated organizations. The most important thing that we want to achieve, no matter what your organization does, is to make sure that your IT strategy is supporting your business as a whole. And we do this with the help of our 8 strategic rocks, which you can see here on the slide. Data, skills, backup, strategy, investment, security, quality of service, and collaboration. Now, the collaboration rock is the focus of this webinar series, as most of the Microsoft 365 apps that we're talking about are collaboration tools. Many people we come across have invested heavily into their IT, bought all these fancy apps and have the best Microsoft licenses, but they're not using them to their full potential and therefore not seeing the best return on investment. So really, that's the aim of this webinar series, to keep you up to date with everything that's coming out and everything that you can start to implement that you've probably already got, and hopefully make a big difference to your business strategy. Bedroq also offers cybersecurity support. Now, I'm sure across news and social media, we've all heard or read about cyber attacks that are happening. We know that it's quite frequently done through social engineering, which is through the manipulation of the humans on, say, your support desks to get passwords changed or some other details changed to help attackers gain access to the system. Recovery from something like this can be a lengthy and costly process, so it's increasingly important for any organization of any size to be prepared, because these sorts of attacks are becoming more common. As I've said, Bedroq have a lot of experience of working with organizations with high security requirements. We've got our own cybersecurity specialists who use these sorts of events as a way to improve our own systems and offerings. We're Cyber Essentials accredited, and we're also part of the National Cybersecurity Centre Industry 100, meaning we have a lot of first-hand knowledge and guidance to share. So if you're looking to assess or better understand your cybersecurity needs and requirements, then please get in touch and we can discuss best practice, consult on what your organization is doing to prepare, help you understand the why behind these sorts of attacks, as well as offer training to bring you and your team up to speed. Just drop myself an email or go through the contact page on our website, and we'll be happy to set up a meeting with yourself and our cybersecurity experts. Right, let's dive into this month's content. So the rollout has begun, and perhaps it has already reached everyone by now, of the latest version of Microsoft Copilot called GPT-5, which uses OpenAI's AI system. GPT-5 in Microsoft Copilot replaces, wait for it, we'll never guess, GPT-4. And it does so by offering much better reasoning, accuracy, and context awareness. Now, unlike GPT-4, which could handle basic tasks, GPT-5 is better at complex, multi-step instructions, and it integrates more deeply with other Microsoft 365 apps, making tasks like drafting, summarizing, and analyzing much faster and more precise. So, how do you choose the GPT-5 model to answer your prompts? Well, if you're using the Copilot chat app in Teams or Outlook, any of those apps really, then you might see a Try GPT button in the top right-hand corner. At least that's what it was like in the version I've got at the moment. Perhaps they've fully integrated it into the drop-down menu that I'll discuss shortly. But the Try GPT you can see in the bottom right-hand side of this slide at the moment. All you have to do is click that button to enable it, then type in your prompt or your question as you normally would, and you'll be off to the races using the latest update. Now, if you head to Copilot Chat in your browser, you'll be able to change what sort of response you'd like from the drop-down menu. When you first open it up, the default will be on Quick Response. If you click where it says Quick Response, it'll open up a menu that you can see on the left of the slide here, where you've got several options depending on your needs to make sure that you're trying those all out and seeing how the responses differ depending on your needs and your question. But for today's update, we'll look at the bottom of that menu with the Smart GPT-5 model. Once you select it, you will see that the pill has changed to Smart GPT-5, so you know you're using the right model. And again, if you wanted to change that, just click it again, click for that drop-down menu and choose a different one. So you're using GPT-5, and depending on your prompt, a real-time router will select the right model for you, either the high throughput model for quicker responses or the deeper reasoning model for complex multi-step tasks, as GPT-5 does both of these things. Now, you might remember I previously covered Copilot Researcher, and Microsoft have tried to make it clear that GPT-5 is not a replacement for this. While GPT-5 dramatically enhances Copilot's ability to handle more complex everyday prompts, Researcher is purpose-built for those times where you need deep, research-intensive work. So Researcher still excels when you need an exhaustive set of reasoning and consistency across many sorts, whether that's internal or external sources. It's ideal for projects like board-level briefs, competitive analysis, and comprehensive client prep as well. So this GPT-5 update sounds like a solid addition to the Copilot models, as we know that these large language models are maturing and becoming more and more powerful with every update. As far as I'm aware, GPT-5 is available now in Copilot Chat for all users, be that with or without a license. And that's also via web, Windows, Mac, and mobile versions. So make sure to go and try out the Smart GPT-5 model, as well as some of the other models as well, to see how Copilot and AI can help support your everyday work. Up next, we're sticking with Copilot, but we're looking at a specific use of it within Outlook. Now, we've had Copilot available in various Microsoft apps for a while now. And not too long ago, I discussed an update that came to Outlook where Copilot was creating automatic summaries of new emails when they came into your inbox. But this new feature that's coming is more about a proactive use of Copilot Chat rather than an automated background check sort of thing. So you're using Copilot Chat with an Outlook, and if you start your prompt by typing / into the prompt box, you will then be able to search and reference people, files, meetings, SharePoint sites, chats, and now with this update, even emails. As you can see on the slide, depending on the version and license you have, there's a couple of different options. So you'll either just see a few, or you'll see all of those options that I just listed. With regards to the emails, you can see that they're signified by a little envelope symbol on the left, and it shows some of your most recent emails by default. But if you type in the search bar next to that, you'll be able to find more specific emails. And that also works for your files, meetings, etc. if you put specific names and words in. And then you're able to use them as references for your prompt, which will then help keep the answer accurate and well informed. Before you even start typing, sometimes the suggested prompts beneath the input box will also include relevant emails to help get you started. This update applies to users with a license when they are toggled onto the web scope, and to users without Microsoft 365 Copilot license, so that's through Copilot Chat as well. Now, this bit may go without saying, but you'll only be able to see content that you actually have access to based on your interactions. So you've had access to it, you've modified it, or been shared directly with you. So this should be another good addition to the scope of Copilot, as there can be long email chains and useful attachments and actions that are attached and listed throughout emails. So maybe you're unable to stay on top of the daily onslaught of emails, and you're looking for that one email that you know you saw and you flagged it a couple of days ago, but you can't seem to find it using Outlook's built-in search function, which is a feature I really hope to be able to talk to you about one day that they've sorted. Then perhaps this update will be able to help you find that more relevant information a bit quicker than the built-in search function. And then it'll let you get on with those tasks that were detailed within said emails as well. Now, this update was due by the end of September, so please do go and have a look and see if the rollout has hit your system yet. And you can get started using Copilot to draft responses to your emails, or to use long email chains as a reference to help you shape a fuller answer to your prompt and keeping on top of all of those tasks. Moving on, let's look at an update that's coming to Microsoft Word. Now, some of you might remember back around April or May time, I covered Word getting a new document snapshot feature. As a quick reminder, this is the Copilot created summary of the document that appears at the very top of the page, basically anytime you open up a Word document. Now, the latest addition to this is the Activity tab within this summary. Users will be able to see a dynamic, easily accessible snapshot of recent edits and comments whenever they open a document. A Word document, that is. This provides an immediate overview of the most relevant updates, making it much simpler to catch up with ongoing work. As you can see from the screenshot, the Activity tab is prominently located at the top of the Copilot summary within Word. However, despite me saying that, it's perhaps not immediately obvious that you actually have to click into that summary, which then expands the window. Then those different tabs that you can see in the screenshot are then displayed across the top. As I said, it'll display recent document activity and allows users to filter what they see based on different time windows. So since their last visit, the past 3 days, the past week, or even the past 2 weeks. Now, to change that filter, you head to the bottom of the snapshot, which you can see I've highlighted with the red box at the bottom of that screenshot currently. Click on that button, and that will give you the options that I've just listed, as well as since last visit. So, and that's probably the most useful of those versions of the summary to show, but in case you want to look at more specifics, then you can do so that way. This flexibility ensures that whether a user checks documents daily or less often, they can quickly see the information that's most relevant to them. And this new capability is especially valuable for those working on documents that are edited or commented on by multiple collaborators. It'll hopefully streamline the process of staying up to date, minimizing the time searching for changes, and it will hopefully again promote better collaboration across teams and groups as well. There's no setup or admin action needed for this, as the feature will be enabled by default across all users with a Copilot license. This update was due by the end of August, so please go and check if it's landed with you, and by checking out some of those documents that you know you've been working on with a few different people as well. And you can see just how clear it makes it for you to get up to speed with the latest changes and also who made them. Okay, this next feature is coming to Microsoft Teams. Now, I'm sure we're all aware that Microsoft search functions, as I previously mentioned, Microsoft Outlook, I'm looking at you, are not always the most reliable. So I'm glad to see that there's some features coming the way of Teams to help improve searching. So first up, with this update, you can search for meetings by name or participant and take key actions directly from the search interface. You'll be able to see past, present, and future events as well. So from the relevant search results, you'll be able to view recaps of past meetings, join ongoing meetings, RSVP to upcoming meetings, as well as being able to access meeting chats and any files that were shared during those meetings. There's going to be a new meeting pill in the auto suggestions canvas, which allows you to focus solely on meetings during your search. And this is number 2 in this screenshot. Additionally, there's going to be a dedicated meetings tab on the search results page, which again, you can filter down your search results to include only meeting related results. And that's number 3. I know that many of us will have had those weeks where you have back-to-back meetings, all to do with different topics or different customers, issues, all with shared files and different sets of actions. It can be difficult coming out of several meetings where your brain has had to focus on 4 completely different tasks and keeping on top of them. So hopefully this update will support you to be able to jump back to specific meetings to find that document or to remind yourself of the tasks that you were set and help you get back on track. Or perhaps it'll just help you check shared meeting notes from or previous agendas from meetings where you can't quite remember where they were to look them up in Outlook. Anyway, this update was due to roll out by the end of September. As I said, there's a couple of different search updates coming. So this next one is introducing new key query language as well that you can use to help improve accuracy of your searches. Now, you can search in Teams using SQL, it's a coding language, style commands such as from, with, in, or is to quickly filter messages, files, and conversations to find what you're looking for. Now, a crucial part of using these sorts of commands is to type a colon right after one of those keywords that I just listed, as this then triggers the list to update to give you more options as to what you can filter by. This is particularly helpful when you can only remember a certain bit of information, say who it was from, or the channel that it was in, or that it was a file, but perhaps not the specific name of it from there. It's a great feature that is on many other platforms outside of Microsoft. I use an app called Discord to talk to my friends quite a lot, and this sort of search has been a feature for there for quite a while. And it's great to be able to go back through long group chats to find a specific picture or specifically a link, etc. Now, if you've not used these sort of search functions like this before, then I'll show you some examples and it'll hopefully help explain just exactly how you can get the most out of using these commands. Okay, so on the screen here, you can see the 4 commands that you can currently use. I'll start with from. This will help you to find messages or files sent by a specific user. An example of this would be to type in the name of your colleague that you think sent the file that you're looking for. Perhaps, though, you can only remember that it was in a group chat and that one of your colleagues was also part of it. Maybe they were asking you to share the file with them, but neither of you can remember who actually sent the file. So in this scenario, you'd start your search using with, followed by a colon, and then type in the name of the person that's also in that group chat. As you can see, there's no spaces that are needed. Now, again, let's take another step back. You remember that it was in a certain channel, but not who actually directly shared the file itself. So you type in, followed by a colon, and then the name of the specific channel. For example, marketing. And lastly, you're really clutching at straws and you really can't remember how much, very much about what you're looking for, other than the fact that it is in fact a file or a message when you're really clutching. So you can filter that using different types of content. For this one, you type is followed by a colon and then something like, as I say, file or message that you can see on the slide. Now, that might have been a little bit confusing. I hope it still made sense. If you're still unsure, just let me know. Or in fact, the easiest way is to go and just try within your Teams chat and your search box, just try using some of these queries just now and see what comes up. Now, it's important to note that you're able to use multiple of these queries or commands, within the same search. So you can see the red box with the black background. That's an example of this. So let's say you know the name of the person and that they sent you a file. You just can't remember the name of the file exactly or when they sent it. So as I say, top right, you can see start with from, then the name of the person, a space, and then is, colon, and then files. And this will hopefully help you narrow down my search. Once you've typed that and hit enter, you can scroll through the top results, or at the bottom of the little drop-down menu that will show up, you can click view all files from that person's name. So it would say from Craig Mundy, which will then show you a window that has a bit more context around each of the search results. Now, I'm always looking for quality of life updates like this that can help you save even just a few seconds here or there. So this particular update should be great in speeding up the search for that elusive file. This update was rolled out mid-August, so you should be able to go and have a go yourself, as I say, and you can see just how effective these search improvements are now, especially when you use them in tandem with the ones that I just previously talked through as well. Last up, let's stick with Teams. Users are now can now import. Oh my goodness! Users can now save important messages from chats and channels to quickly access them at a later point. The saved messages view in the chat list allows users to open a saved message and view the full conversation as well in the right pane. And this will enable you to review or directly reply without having to scroll through long threads, or in fact, using any of the search functions that I just talked you through. Now, it's important to note here that the saved messages view only shows up under followed threads, which is near the top of your chat list, once you've saved your first message. So you can see in the left-hand side of the slide here, I've highlighted it with a red box. That's where your saved messages will pop up once you've started to save them. Now, to save a message, head to the chat or channel that it's in, hover your mouse over it so that the emojis menu, the sort of reactions menu, the reply button and the three-dot menu appear. Click on the three dots to open the menu that you can see on the right-hand side of the slide here. Then a few options down, you can see save this message. Click it and it'll save it under that save section that I just told you about. And so over to that bit, if you click onto it, then you will find all of your saved messages in that section. It'll show you a list of them. So that's sort of the middle part of the white screenshot there, which gives you some high-level details. So the person who sent it, the chat or team it was in, as well as the start of the message. Now, if you click onto one of those specific messages from the list, it will open up into the full conversation in the right-hand side of that screenshot, which then allows you to see the context surrounding the message. This is particularly useful where you could save a specific message that will help you jump back to, say, a link to a file for collaboration for a tender response, or to jump back to a list of actions without having to scroll back every time and be interrupted if new messages are sent into the chat, or having to scroll further and further back as the chat continues to fill up. Or perhaps you just want to keep a track of all of those lovely things that your boss has said about you so that you can evidence it for your next big promotion. And again, with this one, there's no admin configuration required, as this feature will just be on by default. Now, I'd like to think that this, along with those search functions that I just talked you through, should help you keep a track of everything you could possibly need to in your day-to-day life. This update was set to roll out for general availability from early September. So again, make sure to go and have a look and try it out for yourself. Okay. Oh, sorry, just before we move on, Paul has just asked, with the saved messages, how long does it last? Um, how long does it last for? As we have a setting that deletes chat after 90 days. So my understanding is it will keep in line with any of your settings that you've got enabled through your admins. Whatever it is your company has decided for things like keeping chats for, it's going to stay in line with that. So it's not going to be able to save a message outside of those chats being deleted, I'm afraid. But otherwise, if you don't have something like that set up, it'll last inevitably. No problem. No problem. Okay. So that's that. Okay. So that was the last of the updates for today. I just want to quickly let you know about the next webinar in this series that'll be coming next month. So it'll be taking place on Thursday, the 6th of November, and you can register for that now on our website or through the link in the chat that my colleague has just posted. We look forward to seeing you all there, and if there are any topics or questions that you wish for me to cover in the next webinar, then please get in touch with me and I'll be happy to have a look. That's the link in the chat now, so if you want to make sure that the event is in your diary, then please go ahead and register. Remember that all of these webinars are recorded and accessible through our YouTube channel and website as well, so please make sure to have a look through them if you're interested in learning more. And also, feel free to share them with your colleagues as well. I'll now just quickly take you through our stakeholder workshop that Bedroq run that's called the 8 Rocks Assessment. It goes back to those 8 rocks that I talked through right at the very beginning of the webinar. It's a stakeholder workshop designed to get consensus on your business priorities. It can be conducted face-to-face or virtually, and it gets your leaders and investors aligned behind the best way to fully assess your IT strategy. Now, note, there's no cost implications with this other than a mutual investment of time. So, if you're an IT leader at your organization and you need a bit of backup to prove to the CFO that you're needing to make an investment into your IT, or if you're just looking at ways that you could better use your existing IT investments, well, we're happy to look at all of these things. So let us know if it's something that might interest you, and we'll be happy to set this up and introduce you to the team that will walk you through this process. We have a few minutes left for Q&A, but it looks like there's no other questions that have come through other than Paula. So thank you again, Paula, for that question. If anything comes to mind, feel free to get in touch, reply to the email that I'll send out later today. Maybe you'll think of something while you're reading through or watching the recording a bit later on. As always, I'll be happy to help with any queries about the content in this webinar or anything else, and we'll look to cover your suggestions in the future as well. And just a quick reminder about the cybersecurity offering. If it's on your mind and you want to talk to us to find out more about how we can support you and your organization to improve your cyber resilience, then please just also reply to that email that'll be coming out later today. So again, thank you very much for joining us today, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Goodbye.